Thailand has declared a state of emergency in 8 border provinces following a sharp escalation in clashes along its border with Cambodia. The Thai government is urging citizens to reconsider all non-essential travel to the affected areas as tensions continue to rise. In an official statement, authorities advised people to stay alert, avoid high-risk zones and follow all safety instructions issued by local officials and emergency services. The situation is rapidly evolving, with military reinforcements being moved into key border regions. Earlier today, Thailand rejected international mediation efforts, including those from the United States, China and Malaysia, which currently chairs the ASEAN regional bloc. Thai Foreign Ministry spokesperson said Bangkok prefers to resolve the crisis through bilateral talks with Cambodia rather than involving external parties at this given stage. To speak more on this, I am being joined by Badri Gopalakrishnan, fellow and ex-trade head at Niti Aayog and faculty, Boston College. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. My first question to you is, given how this situation currently is escalating, what does this mean for India and the tourists living there?
Yeah, so there are multiple consequences of this ongoing conflict. One, you already talked about the tourism. And there are more than 2 million tourists in Thailand and quite a few tourists in Cambodia as well. Cambodia has the largest Hindu temple in the world, Angkor Wat, and so on. So tourism is an important aspect, the security of Indian tourists who are there, and the perception damage that this is going to create on travel of Indian tourists there. And not only in these two countries, but also in the broader region, because people don't think so minutely about which particular region these things are happening. So the whole tourism to Southeast Asia may be affected. But I'm also more concerned about the broader economic cooperation. So think about the ASEAN. ASEAN has been one of the most successful economic groupings in the world outside maybe European Union. The ASEAN countries have been heavily integrated and in terms of trade, in terms of investments, and many other economic and political aspects. They even have clauses like each of the ASEAN countries shouldn't interfere in the internal affairs of the other ASEAN countries and so on. So now that is going to be affected now. And in that aspect, India, ASEAN, we have a free trade agreement which has been there for a while, and now we are also reviewing and renegotiating that. So that the progress of that also is going to be affected. And Southeast Asia as a whole is emerging as a major global value chain hub in the world with the China plus one strategies and so on. So this is a matter of serious concern for this whole ecosystem, perceptions, from an economic, from trade and investment perspective as well. But hopefully this clash is going to be short-lived. If that is the case, all these implications may not happen, but we don't know, because there is a long history of this clash, and
Right.
we have to wait and watch how it's evolving.
Right, Mr. Gopalakrishnan, I actually was coming to the repercussion part, because a state of emergency in any country, especially now that Thailand is a part of Asia and is under a state of emergency, it is not ignorable, right? So I want to ask you, how significant are the economic and the trade repercussions of Thailand's emergency declaration, especially on border provinces and also for the local industries? And would you recommend India to keep anything specific in mind because of what's going on there?
Yeah, definitely. So those 7 provinces are going to be heavily affected for sure. But the trade between Thailand and Cambodia is also pretty large, despite this rivalries and conflicts that have existed for a long time. The trade between these two countries are large, and that is going to be affected. As far as India is concerned, from the economic perspective, both are very important trade partners. Of course, Thailand is a larger of the two in terms of being trade partners to India. So we have to keep that in mind, and all the industries here, I mean, local industries in Thailand, in those provinces, and the kind of commercial connections, trade and investment connections that our industries may have there, that has to be reconsidered, and we have to be careful. And then we have to factor in these damages that are happening into our economic planning, both at a national level, industrial level, and also the individual industries.
Okay, okay, all right. But I also want to ask you, could this disrupt regional supply chains? And which are those industries, especially Indian industries, that you think are most reliant on Thailand and could be perhaps affected by the, because of the Thailand-Cambodia border row?
But Thailand is quite a diversified economy, and there are a wide range of products that India, relies on Thailand, Thailand relies on India. So we have a lot of industries in India that look at Thailand as an important destination, and vice versa. Thai industries looking at India. So now, like you rightly said, it's not just finished products, but also a lot of intermediate inputs. So industries like automotive, heavy industries, even textiles and apparel, some of the agricultural food-based industries. So all these industries are quite interlinked between the two countries. And from a Cambodia perspective, it's mostly food products and textiles and apparel. But in Thailand, it's a little more broad-based. So I think we have to look into all these different industries that are exposed between India and Thailand, and also India and Cambodia. And I remember in a much larger scale when COVID happened, many industries in India were affected because they were intricately interconnected with the supply chains, even in Wuhan, not just overall China, but even in those regions. So definitely we have to watch closely as to what is happening in those provinces, what kind of industries exist there, and to what extent our industries are dependent on them in terms of intermediate inputs and final demand and so on. So all the industries that I told you, they are to be watched more closely.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there are many other industries which have to be considered.
Yes, right. We definitely would, of course, dig in to know what other industries could potentially get impacted because of the border row between Thailand and Cambodia. But how do you think this could affect India's strategy with ASEAN as a bloc? And do you see India recalibrating trade priorities in the region?
Actually, the ASEAN Free Trade Agreement that India had signed in the 2000s has been controversial in terms of the benefits from the agreement. Some economists and some policymakers agree that it has been a game changer in terms of bringing India to the global supply chain and so on. But there is another narrative that says that that has actually, made India become more dependent on ASEAN countries for imports than the other way around. So in other words, the trade deficit has increased, which is true. But in either case, there has been a review that is going on right now of the ASEAN-India Free Trade Agreement that has been progressing the last few years. And that is going to be now slowed down because there is not going to be much consensus between ASEAN, particularly with these two countries at loggerheads. So this will slow down the ASEAN-India FTA review renegotiation process, which actually means that we have to live with the agreement that we had already signed, and that's how we're going to go forward. And things have changed. It has been almost a couple of decades since we signed that agreement. So we have to recalibrate that, and the process of recalibration has gotten a bit complicated because of these conflicts.
Right, Mr. Gopalakrishnan, thank you so much for helping us understand the issue from very different perspectives. We truly appreciate your time, and thank you so much.